Hey, AJ from the Moto Academy here. We're back with another episode of, don't know what we're calling this, but we're breaking down just exciting moments from the Supercross races. This weekend, Houston Supercross, I raced. I mean, I was sick. I was sick all week, but I raced my dirt bike. I think we have some clips to where I'll be able to talk about that for a second as well. Probably a lot of crashes, and what I'm going to do my best is to kind of give a riders and racers and coaches opinion of exactly what happened. I'm going to do my best to just analyze and break it down for you guys. So hopefully maybe a moment you saw on TV and thought was super exciting, I'll be able to explain exactly how it happened, and if you find yourself in a similar scenario, maybe you can get yourself out of it. So if you want to send in your own riding footage to be analyzed by me, by yours truly, go to club.themotoacademy.com and subscribe to the Moto Academy app. Would you? Don't know why you aren't already. It's freaking amazing. So I'm just going to dive right in. First clip, we're diving right in. This is 250 Heat 1. I'm in this heat somewhere. Oh, horrible start by me. Wow, absolutely horrible. I didn't realize my start was that bad. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was feeling like shapoopy. I was sick from Sunday. The entire week leading up, I just had no energy, and I was not feeling mentally that great at that moment. But thankfully I turned it around and my mindset completely changed in the LCQ, which was nice and necessary. All right, next clip. Deegan. How about Deegan? I mean, very consistent, incredibly impressive for your first pro race. And I'm not surprised. I mean, they wouldn't have had him race if they didn't think he would be cool, calm, collected, and be safe, and obviously be competitive and ready. He was consistent. His lap times were consistent. He was passing fast guys. Look at standing up through the sand. I mean, scrubbing those rollers so hard. Yeah, good job, Deegan. Very good job, Deegan. Okay, next clip. We got Cody Shock. Just such a good save, and then a crazy whiskey throttle. Like, I don't know how he whiskey throttled that much right there at the end. I mean, I do. His feet were off, and he hit the tough block, so he lost even more control. But he couldn't have hit that wall going much faster. Holy. And, okay, I'm going to give an opinion here. And I could be wrong, but it appears as though Cullen Park 67 was trying to catch and pass Shock in this situation. I don't think he just got past, or if he did, he's approaching this section as if he's trying to pass him back on the right side. Now, the problem with that is when you would come out of this turn, land this double, and start going up the jump face, everybody, and I mean everybody, was scrubbing this jump face clutch side down, which means that your back end is going to whip out to rider's right. So I would never want to go to the right side of somebody on this jump for this exact reason, in that I would be afraid that the person would whip right into me. It's inevitable with the way that everybody, and it's not on the person getting past. Like, he's just charging ahead, doing his own thing. It's the person a wheel behind that's got to really know where not to go. He, by the way, did a great job, 67 did, of getting hit and keeping good composure. I mean, he just basically just got pushed into more of a whip, kept his feet on the pegs really nice, brought the whip back, and really landed perfectly. So that was good on his end there. But you got to be careful going to the right of a rider in that situation. Just because you know, and you've ridden laps on the track, and you know that everybody's going to scrub it that one direction. So just something to keep in mind as well, especially when you guys race indoor races, more arena cross style, really tight settings. Track isn't that wide, so you have to be very, very conscious of where you're placing yourself so you don't end up in a weird collision. All right, next clip. Oh, this is my LCQ, right to it. Not an amazing start, but the thing is, nobody stops for the first turn, and everybody will just drift so wide. So really all I had to do at that point was just hug around the inside. What I was proud of is this whole race, I was very composed, and the clip got cut right before I was going to talk about it. But I was really just able to leave both feet on the pegs quite a bit and ride just pretty smooth. Like, there was nothing really that happened in that LCQ where I was freaking out, or it felt fairly normal considering I haven't been in that position in quite a long time. So that's good news. That is good news. All right, next clip. We're right into 250 main event. Oh, we're just doing a lot of talking about me tonight, aren't we? Guys, don't worry. I didn't put these clips together. It's on Dr. Irresistible. What a cut down. We're just going to talk about me for a second. Again, that's me. Watch what I do. And guys, by the way, I went in depth on this and a couple of funny stories from the night on the Moto Academy podcast. So make sure you guys go listen to that podcast wherever you can listen to podcasts, which is where, I don't know, Spotify maybe, Apple. Go listen. So what I do here is, being on that far outside gate, you're going to run in the tough block if you go straight. You can't go for the start really. So I just rode along with the pack. And then what I do is, in a second, I glance to the right and realize that just based on the momentum I'm watching all of these guys carry, I know that they're not going to be able to cut the turn tight enough if I'm patient and smart about it. So I just cut back down. Pretty sure I passed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I passed, by the time I got to the right-hander, 9 or 10 people in in the first turn, and then immediately got a flat tire. But that's okay. We figured out the problem, why we got the flat. Won't happen again. And just happy to make the main event. Thank you all. Thank you, by the way, to everybody that was just really supportive and commenting. I thought that was cool. All right. Hunter save. Next clip. Oh, man. He did such a good job of threading the needle in between those tough blocks. So now Hunter told me today that he wasn't surprised that Vial kind of threw like a over-the-top scrub on that jump. But I was just surprised that Hunter didn't give him more room. And what he said is he thought that he had plenty of room because of how much space he had on the takeoff. So when Hunter gets to this jump, he has plenty of room left to the outside of him. Clearly he just miscalculated actually how far to the left that it was going to shoot him in the air. But what you can tell is he kind of brings the bike back to straight. He knows at this point he's going to land off the track, and he's already, as a fast rider at this point, right before he's landing, he's actually scanning all of this. As a fast rider, you would scan all that quickly to know that you have a clear path. But he did a good job. You got to keep the feet tight so the tough blocks don't rip at you too bad. But that was a really composed way of saving that. All right, next clip. Got Sexton. I don't know if anything happens here crash-wise, but wow, was that feet on? So fast in the whoops. To pass a guy like Tomac in the whoops like that is... what a beast. Just beast speed. I mean, look at that. That's unheard of. And it is also insane how good of a job Tomac did of turning that around for the main event and winning on a night that everything was going Sexton's way. I mean, that's incredible in itself as well. All right. Oh my God. These races, the 450 LCQs, are possibly, just LCQs in general, are the best races to watch. I mean, they're usually so exciting, especially there's some fast guys in this 450 LCQ. Of course they didn't show it. And then the way Alex crashed looked like a cartoon character. Okay, so we got Chiz just teeing up. Is that Norin or is that... Yeah, I think that's Norin. And then just the way A-Ray hits him and falls is hilarious looking. And then that's John Short that rides through and gets the spot. Like, that's why you don't give up. If you're in 7th place in LCQ, you charge until that finish line and that checkered flag, because you never know what could possibly happen. Imagine how pumped he was. Oh my God, the way he crashed, I can't. Like, that is just absolutely hilarious. All right, let's break down the takeout itself. I'm going to start with, watch the 47 Cowie. I'm going to grade his performance first. That wasn't a smart line to take if you're defending a position going into the last corner in an LCQ. So in this specific situation, you would want to come in as tight as you possibly could to the tough blocks here and beeline it towards, let's call it the 75% mark in the corner. That is the best defensive move in most situations if there's a guy right behind you. It's protecting that line so they can't come inside of you. You aim for the very, very end of the corner. So there's no way they could create an angle to get inside of you. And you do that as fast as humanly possible. That's how you defend. You don't come in, leaving, by the way, a little bit of space. I would consider no space, jumping this so that you basically skim the leaderboard. You could do that a little bit tighter than what he did here. And then the most important part is not cutting down with 3 more ruts on the outside. He cut down to a middle inside line. I mean, you've got to know at that point that you're going to get completely annihilated. That's just asking to get taken out, I would say. He'll learn from that. Norton is super smart. And as far as Chisholm, let's grade his performance. I mean, he did literally exactly what you would have to do to pass somebody that he was that far behind going into in the last corner. And for LCQ, for the last transfer spot, as long as it's not overly dangerous, which that was pretty much going right for his leg. So it's kind of dangerous. I forgive it. It's very aggressive, but it's also just really strategically done. Had that not been a Suzuki and just freaking stall so easily, he would have transferred because he would have just rode right up over that double and he would have qualified. But it stalled. That was the only reason he didn't qualify. And A-Ray should have been able to get around that, you would have thought. But, all right, so watching this one more time. Let's just see if A-Ray could have gotten around. Let's pause it when he comes into frame. Let's see. Problem number 1 is he didn't even realize that this had happened until right here. He sees it right there and he goes, oh, crap, I got to swerve. And it was as though at that point when he saw it, that's not a good sign. That means I think that could mean that he's not looking quite far enough ahead. Because you would think he should have seen that a little earlier. But he did his best to swerve, and then it just caught him right in the arm. Probably hurt. Probably gave him a dead arm. All right, next clip, if I can find it. Okay, I've been told this is Forandis' crash. I haven't seen it yet. I didn't know if they got it. Oh, it's one of these deals where it's way up in the corner of the screen. Jumps onto rocks and... Oh, interesting. That's not what I expected. Kind of weird that he held on to the bike for that long. He should have let go earlier once it hit his back tire just to get his hands out more in time. It looked like he slapped his head really hard without getting his hands out. Just want to say I'm just thankful that he got up. That was one of those watching in person where he was not moving for a scary amount of time to where it was just really nice to just see him get up and walk away from that on his own. So what that led to was a staggered start, which I feel like has been happening a lot more frequently the last 3 or 4 years than I ever remember early in my career. All right, what do we got here? Whoa, both of those guys just... I will say, as a fan, Justin Cooper looked amazing on the bike. Really, really well done for his first 450 race. As a fan, the sand sections are cool, especially one like this. Watching those guys go through there, that is really cool. Both feet on, lofting, you have to do that on throttle or else it doesn't work, which is why I struggled so much in the sand section. That's a scary concept to try and commit to. I was trying to go around there like off the throttle and it was not working. I was standing up with feet on because with there being rollers, that was really the only option. But just to commit coming in and to loft to where he just did and to loft the front wheel over that second one looks like nothing. This looks like nothing, but I couldn't do that. I tell you that much, I was trying. I couldn't. It was so deep and it felt so tight in person and the rollers were so steep and that section was so difficult. Oh my gosh. As a rider, for me, it's a nightmare. But I have to admit, it's good as a fan. All right, so there you have it. Houston highlights. Analyzed by yours truly, AJ from the Moto Academy. Well, make sure you guys subscribe. Go to themotoacademy.com. Go to club.themotoacademy.com. Get inside of the app. If you want to train with me in person, we have the Moto Academy tour that's going all over the world this year. Go to tour.themotoacademy.com. Check out what's available. We're going to be dropping new dates this Friday. And there you have it. Next race, Tampa. See you guys next video. So many noises here. I mean, it's the Formula One circuit here in downtown Tampa. Toodaloo.